What you don't see is what truly controls you. We often think of power as something obvious. An order, a title, a document with a red stamp. But the most dangerous kind of power operates in silence. It is an undercurrent, shaping your thoughts without you even knowing. It makes you voluntarily do things that go against your own best interests. It doesn't use force. It uses psychology. It doesn't attack directly. It attacks your perception. As Sun Tzu wrote, the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. This is the essence of psychological warfare, controlling perception. This technique isn't just on the battlefield. It's in our meetings, our work emails, and our personal relationships. And one of the most dangerous techniques is the salami tactic. Imagine a large boulder. You cannot move it, but you can chisel it away, piece by tiny piece, little by little, until the boulder is gone. The salami tactic operates in exactly the same way. The manipulator never asks for something big up front. They know you will refuse. They will ask for something very small. So small that it feels unreasonable to say no. You tell yourself, just this once. It's just a small thing. But that is the trap. When you agree to that first small request, your boundary has been moved. Just 1 millimeter. You don't notice it. Then they make a second small request. Slightly larger than the first, but still small enough for you to accept. You agreed last time. Refusing this time seems a bit strange. So you agree again. Your boundary is moved again. This process repeats. Slice by slice. Just like cutting a salami. Each slice is thin. But when they add up, you realize you've lost the entire salami. The danger of this tactic lies in its gradual nature. Our brains are designed to detect sudden, clear threats. A big shock, an absurd request, we immediately become defensive. But salami is not a shock. It is an erosion. It exploits a weakness in our perception called change blindness. We fail to notice change when it happens too slowly. Furthermore, each slice we accept doesn't just take a little of our time or energy. It also builds what is called a psychological sunk cost. We are already invested. We have already agreed 5 times before. If we refuse on the 6th time, we have to admit that we were wrong the previous 5 times. This creates cognitive dissonance. To avoid that uncomfortable feeling, we would rather continue to agree. We rationalize our own behavior. Just one more time. That is the moment your defensive awareness is completely lulled to sleep. Let's see how it operates in the workplace. A boss wants you to work overtime without pay. He won't say, starting tomorrow, you must stay at the company until 9 p.m. for free. You would immediately object. Instead, he starts on a Friday afternoon. This project is urgent. Can you stay an extra 30 minutes to help me? Just for today. You agree, because 30 minutes is not a big deal. A few weeks later, there's an urgent file this weekend. Can you take a quick look at it from home? You agree again, because a quick look from home sounds flexible. Then the 30-minute requests become more frequent. 6 months later, you find yourself answering work emails at 10 p.m. on a Sunday. You are doing the work of 2 people. For the salary of 1, your boundaries have been erased. Not by one single order, but by hundreds of tiny requests you nodded yes to. This doesn't just stop at work. It also destroys personal relationships. In a romantic relationship, the controller doesn't start with violence. They start with salami. I don't like your friend. Next time you hang out, don't invite him. You agree because you want to please them. A small slice into your social network. A few weeks later, don't go out drinking with your colleagues tonight. Stay home with me. You agree because you think it's a sign of caring. Another slice. Then it comes to the clothes you wear, the hobbies you pursue, slice by slice, until one day you realize you are completely isolated. You have no friends left. No individual hobbies. You are left with only the manipulator. Why are we so easily trapped? Because it touches upon one of the most powerful psychological weapons, the commitment and consistency principle. Humans have an innate desire to be seen as consistent with what we have previously said or done. When you agree to the small request, commitment, your psyche will automatically adjust to continue agreeing to the slightly larger request, consistency. Refusing would create cognitive dissonance. It makes you feel like someone who doesn't keep their word, who is unreliable. The salami manipulator knows this. They use your own decency and desire for consistency against you. So, how do you fight back? The answer doesn't lie in direct confrontation. If you react aggressively to a small request, you will be seen as the one overreacting. You will be isolated. The key is to recognize the first slice, the moment it appears, and to set a clear but firm boundary. When the boss asks you to stay 30 minutes, you don't need to refuse outright. You can say, "I'm happy to. So, shall we log this 30 minutes as overtime? Or should I plan to come in 30 minutes late tomorrow morning?" This statement achieves 3 things. 1. You show you don't work for free. 2. You force them to acknowledge the value of your time. 3. You do it professionally. The salami manipulator relies on your reluctance to speak up. They will back down when faced with a clear boundary. They don't want clarity. They want ambiguity. When a colleague asks to borrow money, say, "I'm sorry. It's my principle not to lend money, even small amounts. I hope you understand." Use the word principle. It transforms the refusal from personal, "I don't want to lend to you," to objective, "It is my rule." This makes it harder for them to attack you. If they continue to insist, use the broken record technique. Just calmly repeat your exact statement. "I understand you're in need, but my principle is not to lend money." Do not explain further. Do not apologize. Any explanation is just a weak point for them to attack. Recognizing the first slice and setting a clear boundary is the only weapon against salami. The manipulator relies on ambiguity. Always bring clarity. That is how you take back control. But if the salami tactic is a gradual attack using words and actions, there is an opposing tactic that is even more frightening, a tactic that requires doing nothing at all. It is the weapon of absolute silence. It is called stonewalling. This is not the normal silence when people need space to think. This is a calculated silence, a deliberate refusal to communicate. Its purpose is to punish, to control, and to invalidate you. The human brain is programmed for social connection. We crave feedback. When faced with a wall of silence, our mind enters a state of panic. It detests an information vacuum. And the manipulator knows this. When you ask a question, and they don't answer, they look right through you as if you don't exist. Or they give a curt, unrelated answer, then turn away. You immediately begin to question yourself. What did I say wrong? What are they angry about? What must I do to fix this? You automatically fill that vacuum with anxiety and self-blame. The manipulator doesn't have to do anything. They just sit back and watch you torture yourself. In the workplace, stonewalling is a cruel tool of power. A boss wants to push you off a project. Instead of direct confrontation, he begins the silent tactic. He accidentally forgets to invite you to the important meeting. He doesn't reply to your urgent emails about the project. Other colleagues notice this. They begin to keep their distance from you. You fall into a state of professional isolation. You panic. You start working 2, 3 times as hard. You try to prove your value. You try to atone for a mistake that doesn't even exist. In the end, you are the one who burns out and resigns. The boss has achieved his goal without having to fire you. He left no trace, no harsh emails, no conflict, only silence. In personal relationships, it is even more toxic. A small argument breaks out. Instead of resolving it, Your partner chooses silence. They don't pick up the phone. They don't answer texts. They are in the same house, but glide past you like a ghost. This silence lasts for hours, even days. This is deliberate psychological torture. It sends a clear message. Your existence depends on my kindness. I have the power to erase you at any time. The victim, unable to bear this tension, will always be the one to back down. They will apologize. They will concede. They will agree to things they don't want, just to break that terrifying wall of silence. The manipulator wins again. They have controlled the situation without speaking a single word of argument. How to fight back against stonewalling. The key is to understand what their weapon is. Their weapon is your emotional reaction. They need your fear. They need your begging. Do not give it to them. When someone puts up a stone wall, withdraw your attention. Instead of constantly texting, "What's wrong? What did I do? Please talk to me." You only need to say one thing clearly and calmly. "I notice you are choosing to be silent and don't want to talk. When you are ready to discuss this constructively, I will be here to listen. After that, you must stop. Go on with your work. Read a book. Go for a walk." This immediately takes away their power. Their silence is no longer a weapon to punish you. It becomes their own problem. They will be the one who has to break the silence. If stonewalling is using silence to control, then gaslighting is using words to destroy your reality. This is the pinnacle of manipulation. Its goal is not just to make you do what they want. Its goal is to make you doubt your own sanity. The term originates from a 1938 play. A husband intentionally dims the gas lights in the house. When his wife says the lights are dimming, the husband insists that she is imagining it. "Are you crazy? The light is normal." He repeats this every day, until the wife truly believes she is losing her mind. Gaslighting is not just lying. It is the brazen, systematic denial of reality. The manipulator will look you straight in the eye and say, "I never promised that," even though you know for a fact they did. You're overreacting. It wasn't that serious, even though they just made a grave mistake. You're too sensitive. Your memory is failing you. These are the signature phrases of a gaslighter. They attack your perception, not your actions. At work, you present a breakthrough idea in a team meeting. Your boss brushes it aside, saying it's not feasible. 3 weeks later, in a big meeting with leadership, that same boss presents your exact idea as if it were his own. Everyone applauds. You are in shock. After the meeting, you approach him privately and say, "That was my idea." He looks at you with genuine surprise. "What are you talking about?" "I don't recall." "You must have misunderstood my point in the last meeting. Anyway, this has been my strategic direction for a long time." You begin to wonder, did I remember it wrong? Was my idea not as clear as I thought? He has planted the seed of doubt in your own memory. Gaslighting is often accompanied by a technique called DARVO, deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. When caught doing something wrong, the manipulator will not apologize. They will attack back. You discover your partner is lying to you. Instead of admitting it, they yell, "How dare you check my phone? You have serious trust issues." Your pathological jealousy is what's destroying this relationship. In a matter of seconds, you have been pushed from the position of victim, the one who was lied to, into the position of offender, the one who invaded privacy, the jealous one. You start defending your own actions, and the original issue of the lie is completely forgotten. Fighting gaslighting is extremely difficult because it attacks the foundation of your reality. Your only weapon is objective truth. Write things down. Gaslighting relies on blurring memory and emotion. Do not argue with emotion. Rely on evidence. Save the emails. Take screenshots of the messages. When the manipulator says, "I never said that," you don't need to argue. You just say, I'm not talking about memory. I'm talking about fact. In the email sent at 10:05 a.m. on Tuesday, you wrote exactly X. When they say, "You're overreacting," you say, "I refuse to debate my feelings. Let's focus on the behavior." Behavior X occurred. Create a reality anchor. This could be a close friend you trust implicitly. Someone you can tell the event to as soon as it happens. That person will serve to keep you sane. They will confirm, "No, you are not crazy. That really did happen." Remember, gaslighters do this because they are afraid. They fear the truth. They fear being exposed. The fact that they have to distort your reality proves only one thing, that your reality is correct, and it threatens them. Never surrender it. Recognize the salami, disengage from the stonewall, and document the truth to fight the gaslight. That is how you protect your own reality and take back control. When an individual starts to document the truth, when they create a reality anchor with trustworthy people, the gaslighter loses their most powerful weapon. They cannot distort your reality anymore. Objective reality is their enemy. But a master manipulator never gives up. They just change tactics. If they cannot beat you in a one-on-one fight, they will stop fighting one-on-one. They will use other people. They will turn your allies into your enemies. This is when the war shifts from individual psychology to social psychology. The first tactic to do this is called triangulation. The manipulator introduces a third person into a relationship that was meant for only two. The purpose is not to clarify. The purpose is to create instability, jealousy, and doubt. They control the flow of information between you and the third person, making you both dependent on them. At work, your boss is unhappy with you. Instead of calling you into the office for a direct talk, he calls in a colleague you are close to. He says, "I'm really worried about A. They seem to be struggling lately." You're A's close friend. Do you see a problem? I just want to help. With just one sentence, he has achieved 3 goals. 1. He plays the role of a kind, caring boss. 2. He plants seeds of doubt in your colleague, making them start to scrutinize you. 3. He completely controls the narrative without ever having to confront you. You start to feel isolated. Your friend starts to keep their distance. You don't understand why. The triangle has been formed. In a personal relationship, the manipulator constantly mentions a third person, an ex-lover, a best friend of the opposite sex. Person A never complained about this. Person B always understood me better than you. You are thrown into an invisible competition with a ghost. You become insecure. You have to try even harder to win that comparison. And the more you try, the more you lose yourself. The manipulator does nothing. They just sit back and watch you erode yourself. But triangulation is just a stepping stone. When the manipulator wants to completely destroy you, they will mobilize the flying monkeys. This term comes from the story The Wizard of Oz, where the Wicked Witch never did her own dirty work. She sent her winged monkeys to do it for her. In real life, flying monkeys are the people around you. Friends, family, colleagues. The master manipulator plays the victim perfectly. They don't attack you in front of others. They go to each person, with teary eyes, with a trembling voice. I tried everything for A, but A treated me so cruelly. I'm truly afraid of A. They've been very unstable lately. I'm worried for my safety. They don't ask others to attack you. They only ask for protection. They exploit other people's kindness, naivety, and instinct to protect the weak. These flying monkeys are not bad people. They truly believe they are doing the right thing. They believe they are protecting the victim, the manipulator, from the abuser, you. And so the attack begins. But it doesn't come from your enemy. It comes from the very people you trust. Colleagues suddenly stop talking when you enter the room. Close friends start to question you. How could you treat her like that? You are removed from group chats. Baseless rumors begin to spread. You don't understand what is happening. You try to explain. It's not like that. You are all being deceived. But the more you explain, the more you look unstable and out of control, exactly as the manipulator described. This is a devastating psychological assault, because it doesn't just attack your career or reputation. It attacks your social support system. The manipulator has isolated you completely. You have no one left to trust. You are all alone. How do you fight an army? The answer is, you cannot. Do not try to fight the flying monkeys. That is the one thing you must never do. They will not believe you. They have been indoctrinated. Every attempt you make to explain will only be distorted and reported back to the puppet master. Every emotional reaction you have will be used as evidence against you. Instead, use the gray rock method. Become as boring as a gray rock. When the flying monkeys question or attack you, do not defend yourself. Do not get angry. Do not cry. Just give emotionless, curt answers. I understand your perspective. Thank you for sharing. I have nothing to say about that. Flying monkeys are fed by emotional reactions. They want to see you suffer. If you give them no emotion, they will get bored and leave. They will return to the puppet master and say, "I didn't react at all." This drives the manipulator crazy, because they have lost their source of energy. At the same time, retreat from that battlefield. Stop all unnecessary contact. Do not give them any more information about yourself. Focus on your reality anchors. People who are not involved in the incident. People who trust you unconditionally. They are your only lifeline. When the manipulator loses the ability to control your reaction and loses their army of flying monkeys, they have failed. You have taken back control. Taking back control is not the end. It is only the beginning of the final phase. Manipulators, especially those with narcissistic structures, do not accept defeat. They do not operate on logic. They operate on a pathological need for control. When they realize their salami tactics, gaslighting, and flying monkeys no longer work. When they see you using the gray rock method and holding firm to your reality anchor, they do not leave. They escalate. You have done the worst possible thing. You have exposed them. You have shown them their true face in the mirror, and they will never forgive you for that. This is when you trigger the most dangerous phase, narcissistic rage. This is not ordinary anger. This is terror. The terror of a predator backed into a corner. They realize they have lost control over you, and their reaction is to destroy. Destroy you. Destroy your reputation. Destroy everything you care about. This rage comes in two forms. The first is explosive. They scream, smash things, curse you with the worst possible words. They make threats. The goal is to make you afraid. They want you to cower, to force you back into the role of the submissive victim. The second form is far more dangerous. It is the cold rage. They don't scream. They smile, an empty smile, and they begin a systematic campaign of destruction. In the workplace, the narcissistic boss knows you have evidence against him. He can no longer gaslight you. He will use his final weapon, his authority. He begins a sophisticated smear campaign. He tells upper management that you are emotionally unstable, that you are subversive, that you are a threat to company culture. He will deliberately assign you impossible projects, just to watch you fail. He will find any way to fire you, to destroy your references. He would rather destroy an entire department than admit he was wrong. But if the rage doesn't work, if you still stand firm, the manipulator will suddenly do a 180-degree turn. They will activate their final tactic, the most deceptive and cunning of all. It is called hoovering, named after the vacuum cleaner brand. They will try to suck you back in. The same person who threatened to destroy you yesterday suddenly appears at your door today, with flowers, with tears. They suddenly become the same perfect person you met at the very beginning. They apologize. They say the words you have waited your whole life to hear. I was wrong. You were right. I was so blind. I can't live without you. I will change. I promise. This is the deadliest trap. It doesn't attack your fear. It attacks your compassion. It attacks your hope. You want to believe they can change. You want to believe your efforts were not in vain. And they know this. They will use the salami tactic again. Just give me one last chance. We just need to talk one last time. If you open that door, if you answer that text, the cycle starts all over again. But this time, it will be 100 times worse. Because now, they know your weakness. They know you already forgave them once. They will do it again. They will punish you for daring to leave them. So, what is the way out when you have tried everything? Set boundaries. Documented the truth. Used gray rock. You realize a harsh truth. You cannot win this game. You cannot fix them. You cannot make them understand. You cannot negotiate with a manipulator. The only way to win is to stop playing. This is the final solution. No contact. This is not stonewalling. You are not silent in order to punish. You are silent in order to save yourself. No contact means no contact. Block the phone number. Block all social media accounts. Delete the emails. If it's a colleague, you must find a new job. If it's a family member, you must maintain maximum distance. This sounds extreme, but it is mandatory. Because to a manipulator, any attention is what's called supply, even when you scream at them. Even when you say, I hate you, they still win because they made you react. Absolute silence is the only thing that takes away their power. When you disappear, you become a ghost. They have nothing left to attack. They have no one left to control. This journey from recognizing the first salami slice to fighting the gaslighting, from dealing with the flying monkeys to surviving the rage, it will cost you. You may lose friends, lose your job, lose your idea of what love is. You will have to fight your own self-doubt, but what you win back is yourself. True power is not controlling others. True power is the ability to set and defend your own boundaries. The manipulator relies on you not understanding the rules. Now you understand. You cannot change who they are, but they can never change the truth of what they did. And you now are finally free.